here on SEO maintenance for better site performance?
Yeah. So number one, have site backups in place. You might think, oh, big companies, they've got stuff like this handled, or, oh, that our hosting company handles that. Well, here's a question. If you're like a chief marketing officer or a marketing manager and the website falls under your management, do you know how your websites are backed up? Is it your hosting company? Is it a webmaster? Is it somebody internal? This is the kind of thing that you need to have documented. And when the site goes down, you need to have a go-to place for how to troubleshoot and understand what your recovery process is. Every company, every organization needs to have their website backed up, in my opinion, at least once a day. We used to kind of run processes where we would run a backup daily. Even on WordPress sites where we've used plugins to do backups, we would push those out to either Dropbox or to some other computer approach. We would run those, I don't know, I'm thinking 2 or 3 years ago, we'd run those maybe weekly. Well, going back a week on most current websites would be a real setback. So we're recommending every 24 hours having a backup cycle run and having a recovery process documented that everybody in the company knows exists.
Yeah. Important. That's the kind of a nightmare scenario for people that if your site goes down or it gets deleted and you don't have a backup.
Yeah, so there are a couple of scenarios, and this has kind of been in the news lately, a couple of scenarios where this is really relevant. One is you have just a problem with the hosting or a coding problem, and a site goes down. You need to know, oh, we can go back, this problem happened in the last 24 hours or maybe the last 48. Oh, we can go back 3 days and we can restore to there if it's a coding problem.
Yeah.
But another problem that's been in the news lately is hacking and sort of ransomware attacks. You need to be able to immediately have a set of steps you can go through to shut anybody out of access and then restore to a pre-hack situation and code base. And so, so that's a best practice. It's easy to overlook and assume that it's not going to be a problem because you've never been hacked before, but more sites are going through that now.
Yeah. And should people also, I thought about this, so schedule the automatic backup. Is there an additional step to make sure that's actually happening?
I think
imagine
so.
It's a plugin and the plugin breaks or something.
I would say so. I think you need to have somebody to watch the watchers. When it comes to backups, you need to have a documented process. And then if I was a marketing manager or VP, somebody kind of in charge of a website, I would want somebody once a year to review that policy with me and validate that it's working. And then I would have them quarterly go in and check and make sure stuff's working.
The reason I ask is I just remembered I have an automatic backup on my website, and I'm like, I have not checked it in a long time to see if it was actually doing.
Yep.
The plugin maybe broke, or the API from Dropbox isn't. There's all kinds of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff.
Make sure it's actually backing up.
And typically at GoEps, what we're doing these days is using the hosting company's backups process because it's just so stable. And they're so good, but something needs to check that box for backups for every website that you care about.